Chosen one, whatever you were doing needs to stop. Right now, not in a minute, not after you finished that thought. Now, because what I uncovered while preparing this message made me sit in complete silence for longer than I am comfortable admitting. Something formed inside you, and I am not talking about something you intentionally developed, not a skill you practiced, not a technique someone taught you. I am talking about a power that grew so quietly, so gradually, that you had no idea it was taking shape, until it became impossible for the spiritual realm to ignore. You mastered something that has the devil himself paying attention. Not to destroy it, that is the fascinating part. He wants to understand it. He wants to learn how you do it, and the fact that he cannot is creating a level of frustration in dark realms that has completely shifted how they approach you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications, because what I am about to reveal about this power, how it developed in you, and why fallen entities are now studying you like a textbook they cannot comprehend, will permanently change how you understand every difficult season you have survived. Stay until the very end, because I am going to show you exactly what this power is, why heaven documented the moment you mastered it, and what this means for everything coming toward you. Write 777 in the comments. If you have noticed recently that attacks against you seem to malfunction in ways that surprise even you. Let me take you somewhere most people never get to see. There is a realm of spiritual observation that operates continuously around chosen ones. Angels assigned to specific souls, documenting every response, recording every choice, tracking every internal battle that humans fight without anyone in the physical world ever knowing. Most of what gets recorded follows predictable patterns. Humans experience pain. They respond with pain. They encounter betrayal. They breed bitterness. They face injustice. They marinate in resentment. These patterns have been consistent since the beginning of human existence. But occasionally something gets recorded that doesn't fit any established category. Something that makes celestial observers pause their documentation and request consultation from higher ranks. Your file triggered that request. Not because you did something wrong, because you did something they couldn't classify. There is a phenomenon in spiritual physics that most humans never learn about. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. When someone directs negative energy toward you, hatred, jealousy, resentment, that energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't just evaporate. Most humans absorb it. They take it in, let it poison them from the inside, and either hold on to it until it makes them sick, or redirect it toward someone else who didn't deserve to receive it. This is the normal human pattern. This is what darkness expects. This is what darkness counts on, because when you absorb negativity and either internalize it or pass it on, you become part of the distribution system of darkness itself. You become, unknowingly, a carrier, a host, a link in a chain that keeps pain circulating through the human realm. But you did something different. Something that caught celestial attention, because it shouldn't have been possible without years of intentional spiritual training. What you did has a name in celestial records. They call it frequency dominion. Let me explain what this means, because understanding it will change everything about how you see yourself. Frequency dominion is the ability to receive negative energy directed at you and transmute it into something entirely different before it can corrupt your core. Not blocking it, not deflecting it, transmuting it. There is a massive difference. When you block negative energy, it bounces back to its center, unchanged. Same frequency, same destructive potential, just redirected. When you deflect it, it hits someone else who wasn't involved. Innocent bystander takes the hit, meant for you, but when you transmute it, you take what was meant to be poison and you transform it into medicine. You change its fundamental nature. Darkness directed at you becomes light that emanates from you. Hatred sent your way becomes compassion that flows through you. Curses aimed at your life become blessings that multiply around you. This is frequency dominion, and you mastered it without even knowing you were learning. Think back to the last several months. Think about situations where you were under attack. Not physical attack, spiritual attack, emotional attack, energetic attack. Maybe it was a person who genuinely wanted to see you fail. Someone whose eyes revealed satisfaction at your struggles. Someone who spoke words about you that were designed to define you, limit you, destroy your reputation. Maybe it was circumstances that seemed specifically engineered to break your spirit, everything going wrong simultaneously, every door closing at once, every hope being disappointed in rapid succession. In those moments, something happened inside you that you might not have consciously registered. Instead of letting the attacks determine your internal state, something within you processed them differently. You felt the pain. I am not saying you didn't. This isn't about being numb. You recognize the injustice. This isn't about being naive. But somewhere in that process, before the negativity could root itself in your soul, a transformation occurred. You didn't become bitter, you became wiser. You didn't become hateful, you became more discerning. You didn't become closed off, you became more intentional about who deserves access to you. Do you see the difference? The same experience that would have destroyed someone else became development for you. The same attack that would have corrupted someone else became curriculum for you. The same poison that would have killed someone else became vaccination for you. This is frequency dominion in action. And heaven recorded it. Your guardian angel noted the exact moment the transmutation occurred, noted the specific circumstances that triggered it, noted the internal battle you fought, noted the choice you made that nobody else in the physical world could see, and that report got flagged for special attention because what you demonstrated wasn't just impressive morality or strong character. It was spiritual technology that most humans never develop in their entire lifetime. When this ability first began forming in you, it wasn't obvious. It started small. A situation where you could have responded with cruelty, but chose restraint. Instead, an opportunity for revenge that you let pass. A moment when you could have spoken words that would haunt someone forever, but you swallowed them and stayed silent. Each of these micro-choices built something inside you, layer by layer, response by response. Each time you chose not to become what hurt you, the ability strengthened. Each time you refused to pass pain forward, the capacity expanded, until eventually it became your default operating system. You stopped having to consciously choose transmutation. It started happening automatically. Pain would enter your field, and before it could settle, your soul would process it into something useful. This automatic transmutation is what caught the attention of realms beyond human perception, because it indicated that you had graduated from conscious choice to integrated identity. You didn't just do transmutation anymore. You became a transmuter, and that is extraordinarily rare for those who want to understand how to consciously strengthen this transmutation ability. There is exclusive material in the description and pinned comment that costs less than a pizza and comes with a complete audiobook plus a 5-minute meditation guide as a bonus. Now let me tell you why the devil himself became interested in your case. In the hierarchy of darkness, there are systems of surveillance just like there are in heaven. Demons assigned to monitor specific humans, reports filed about progress or regression, strategies adjusted based on what is working or failing. Most of this operates routinely predictable attacks, producing predictable results, standard tactics working on standard humans, but demons assigned to you started filing unusual reports. They were experiencing something they couldn't explain. The attacks they launched against you weren't just failing, they were somehow returning as something different. Energy sent with the intention to corrupt was coming back transformed, like you had some kind of spiritual filtration system that they couldn't penetrate or understand. At first, the lower ranks thought it was angelic interference. They assumed your guardian angel was working overtime, running some kind of advanced protection protocol, but when they investigated further, when they analyzed the mechanics of what was happening, they discovered something that disturbed them deeply. The transformation wasn't happening through external protection. It was happening inside you. You were the one converting the energy. You were the filtration system, not something protecting you from outside, something operating within your own soul. This information eventually reached the highest levels of the dark hierarchy. And when the devil himself reviewed your case, something unprecedented happened. He didn't order increased attacks. He didn't assign more powerful demons. He didn't escalate to more destructive strategies. He ordered observation, study, analysis. He wanted to understand how you were doing this, because here is what you need to understand about the enemy of your soul. He was once the highest angel, the most beautiful created being, the most gifted with wisdom and ability. He had access to divine presence in ways that other angels could only wonder about. But when he fell, he didn't just lose his position, he lost certain capabilities. Permanently, irreversibly, one capability that fallen angels fundamentally cannot access is transmutation. They can destroy, they can corrupt, they can twist and pervert and poison. But they cannot transform darkness into light. That direction of transformation is permanently closed to them. Once fallen, always limited to operating within the frequencies of their fallen state. They can manipulate existing energy. They cannot transmute it into something higher. This is why your ability fascinated him. You, a human being, with all the limitations humans carry, fragile body, limited lifespan, restricted perception, you developed a capacity that he, with all his original power and ancient knowledge, can never access again. You can do something he cannot, and it is driving him insane. He has been studying you, not to destroy you immediately, to understand you first. He wants to know the mechanics of your transmutation, wants to reverse engineer the process, wants to see if there is any way he can replicate or counterfeit what you do naturally. His best analysts, if you can call them that, have examined your case. Demons who specialize in understanding human spiritual development, entities whose entire purpose is to find vulnerabilities in chosen ones and exploit them systematically. They studied your history, analyzed your responses, tracked your patterns across multiple situations, and their report came back with a conclusion that infuriated their master. The report stated that this ability cannot be replicated through their methods, because it emerges from a foundation they do not possess. Let me translate what that means. The foundation of transmutation is love, not romantic love, not emotional attachment, but the kind of love that exists as the fundamental frequency of creation itself. The love that God is made of, the love that was woven into the original design of human souls. This love is what allows you to take something destructive and transform it into something constructive. Because love at its essence is creative force, and when creative force encounters destructive energy, it has the option to recreate it as something entirely new. Fallen entities severed themselves from this creative love when they rebelled. They can no longer access it. It is not that they choose not to. They cannot. The connection was permanently broken, so no matter how much they study your transmutation ability, they can never replicate it because they lack the foundation it requires. They lack the love that makes it possible. You have something the devil desperately wants, but can never have. And every time you use it, every time you transmute another attack into another level of growth, you remind him of what he lost. You become a living demonstration of the difference between those who remained connected to divine love and those who severed themselves from it. This is why the spiritual atmosphere around you has changed. You may have noticed it. Attacks that used to come frequently now come more hesitantly. Darkness that used to press against you confidently now approaches with caution. There is almost a nervousness in how the enemy engages with you now. And it is not because they have given up on you, it is because they have learned that attacking you is counterproductive. Every attack becomes fuel for your development. Every curse becomes raw material for your blessing. Every attempt to drain you somehow ends up charging you. They created a problem they don't know how to solve. By attacking you relentlessly for so long, they accidentally trained you to convert attacks into upgrades. They meant to destroy you, but instead they developed you. Now, they don't know what to do with you. Let me give you the evidence that this is already operating in your life so you can recognize it. First evidence, you recover faster than you used to. Think about it. Situations that would have devastated you for months in previous seasons now affect you for days, maybe weeks. Pain that would have defined entire years of your life now becomes chapters you move through with surprising speed. This isn't emotional numbness. This isn't disconnection or denial. This is transmutation working efficiently. The pain still registers, your heart still feels it, but the processing time has shortened dramatically because you have become skilled at converting pain into progress quickly. Second evidence, people who attack you experience unusual problems. I want you to think carefully about this. Think about people who have come against you in recent seasons, people who spoke against you, worked against your interests, celebrated your struggles, sent negative energy in your direction. Now think about what happened to them afterward. Where are they now? How are their lives going? Compare their trajectory to yours. Something isn't normal here. It is not that you are wishing harm on them. You are not actively doing anything against them, but somehow the energy they directed at you seems to have returned to them transformed. They sent corruption, but because you transmuted it, what returned to them wasn't corruption anymore. It was conviction, exposure, consequences, the universe holding up a mirror to show them exactly what they tried to do to someone who didn't deserve it. Third evidence, you have developed strange gratitude for painful experiences. This might even confuse you. Why would you feel thankful for things that hurt? That doesn't make logical sense, but somehow you have started seeing past pain as necessary development. Started recognizing that some of the worst experiences contributed to some of the best parts of who you are now. This perspective isn't natural. It is evidence of transmutation becoming your default lens. You automatically see the growth potential in pain because you have become skilled at extracting it. Fourth evidence, wrong people keep leaving your life without you removing them. Relationships that were draining, you have ended. Not because you cut them off necessarily, they just faded, dissolved. People who were obstacles removed themselves. Situations that were blocking you cleared on their own. This is what happens when your frequency rises through consistent transmutation. You become incompatible with certain people and situations. Not through judgment, through frequency. They cannot maintain connection with someone operating at your level because it makes them uncomfortable in ways they cannot articulate. So they leave. And you don't have to feel guilty about it because you didn't push them out. They couldn't stay. Fifth evidence. You sense something significant approaching. There is an anticipation inside you lately that you cannot fully explain. A feeling that you are standing at the edge of something, that a major shift is imminent, that everything has been building toward a moment that is coming soon. This isn't wishful thinking. This is spiritual perception. Your transmutation ability has heightened your sensitivity to spiritual movement. You are picking up signals about your own future that your conscious mind cannot fully interpret yet. But your soul knows something is coming, and that knowing is accurate. Now, let me show you the moment this power was officially registered in your celestial file. Every chosen one has documentation in heavenly records. A file that tracks development, assignments, growth, challenges, responses. Most updates to these files are routine, standard progress notes. But occasionally something gets added that changes the classification of the entire file, a marker that indicates this soul has reached a level that requires different handling. Your file received such a marker. It happened during a moment you probably don't even remember as significant. A moment of private pain, nobody watching, nobody to perform for, nobody who would ever know what you chose in that instant. You had been wounded deeply by someone or something that had no right to hurt you. The wound was fresh, the pain was acute, and in that moment you had every justification to let it destroy something inside you. Every reason to close down, harden up, become cynical. Decide that since the world was cruel, you would be cruel back. Nobody would have blamed you, nobody would have known, but somewhere in that private agony you made a different choice. You refused to let what happened change who you were. You refused to let their darkness determine your light. You took that pain, and instead of letting it make you bitter toward humanity, you let it make you more compassionate toward other wounded people. Instead of letting it close your heart, you let it crack your heart open to deeper empathy. Instead of letting it prove that love is foolish, you let it prove that love is strong enough to survive betrayal. In that moment, heaven stopped to watch, because what you demonstrated in that private pain was mastery, complete frequency dominion, the ability to receive the worst and transmute it into something beautiful. Your guardian angel marked the moment, flagged it for special attention, added a note that this soul has demonstrated master-level transmutation under extreme conditions, and that note changed how you are classified, changed what you are eligible for, changed what heaven is preparing to trust you with. Because God gives greater assignments to those who prove capable of handling greater pressure, and you proved it when nobody was watching, which is the only proof that actually counts. The devil learned about this documentation. His intelligence network informed him that your file had been upgraded, that you had been marked as a master, and his response revealed something about his obsession with your ability. He requested the details of how you did it. Not just that you transmuted pain, how you transmuted it, the specific internal process. The mechanics of the transformation. He wanted a technical breakdown of your ability so he could look for vulnerabilities in it. But here is what the report revealed that drove him to fury. There were no mechanics to analyze, there was no technique to study. What you did came from somewhere that cannot be mapped or reverse engineered. It came from a heart that chose love when hatred was justified. It came from a soul that refused to abandon its nature, despite circumstances that gave it permission to. It came from something he used to have and threw away, something he can never get back. That is why he wants to learn it so badly. That is why he is obsessed with understanding you. You represent everything he lost, and every time you transmute another attack, You remind him of his permanent limitation. You are living proof that what he sacrificed was worth more than what he gained, and he cannot stand it. Now let me tell you what was officially recorded about your future based on this mastery you have demonstrated. When heaven recognizes a soul that has developed frequency dominion to master level, certain protocols activate. One of these protocols is called accelerated fulfillment. Under normal circumstances, chosen ones receive their assignments and blessings according to careful timelines, years of preparation before major responsibilities, gradual increase before substantial provision, step-by-step progression toward purpose. This slower approach protects chosen ones from receiving more than they are ready to handle. But accelerated fulfillment changes the timeline. It means heaven has decided you have demonstrated enough to warrant faster advancement. The quality of your character has eliminated the need for extended preparation periods. What you have already proven qualifies you to receive ahead of schedule, what others would need more time to be ready for. Practically speaking, this means several things for your immediate future. Blessings that were scheduled for later seasons are being moved up. Opportunities that weren't supposed to appear for years are being released now. Doors that had specific opening dates have been unlocked. Ahead of time, you have probably already started noticing this. Things happening faster than you expected. Movement in areas that had been stagnant for years. Progress that doesn't match the effort you put in because it is being supplemented by heavenly acceleration. This will continue and intensify. The acceleration is just beginning. It also means opposition is being systematically neutralized, not just blocked temporarily, permanently removed, enemies reassigned to other targets, attacks prohibited by higher authority. The normal resistance that slows most chosen ones has been lifted from your path because you have proven you don't need it anymore. You have learned what you needed to learn from resistance. Now you are ready for momentum. There is something else recorded in your file that I need to share with you. When a soul demonstrates master-level frequency dominion, a classification is assigned, a title that summarizes their core spiritual identity. This classification follows them for the rest of their earthly journey and into eternity. Your classification is being recorded as Frequency Master. Let me explain what this means. Frequency refers to the vibration at which your soul operates. Everything in creation operates at frequencies. Lower frequencies correspond to fear, hatred, bitterness, despair. Higher frequencies correspond to love, peace, joy, faith. Most humans oscillate between frequencies depending on their circumstances. Good day, higher frequency; bad day, lower frequency. Their internal state is determined by external conditions. But a frequency master has stabilized at higher frequencies regardless of external conditions. They have learned to maintain their vibration independent of what is happening around them. And more than that, they have learned to use their stabilized frequency to transform lower frequencies that contact them. This is you. You are no longer subject to the spiritual weather around you. You have become someone who influences the spiritual weather rather than being influenced by it. When you walk into a room, frequencies shift. When you engage with the situation, energy transforms. When you remain present in chaos, the chaos begins to order itself. This isn't arrogance. This is recognition of what you have developed through years of choosing transmutation over transmission. You have become a stabilizing force in whatever environment you inhabit, and heaven is about to leverage this in ways you haven't imagined yet. Because the world is entering a season where frequency masters are desperately needed, chaos is increasing globally. Fear is spreading, lower frequencies are becoming dominant in many regions and populations. People are losing hope, losing faith, losing the ability to see light in increasing darkness. This is the environment into which frequency masters like you will be deployed, not to preach at people, not to lecture them about their low vibrations, but to simply exist among them with such stabilized frequency that transformation becomes possible in their presence. You will not have to try to change anyone. Your frequency will do the work just like it already does in your immediate environment. But the scope is about to expand. The platform is about to grow. The reach is about to multiply, because that is what happens when heaven identifies a master. They don't leave them in small assignments. They expand their territory to match their capacity. Now, let me give you specific instructions for consciously operating in this mastery. Because while you develop this ability organically, understanding how it works will allow you to use it more intentionally. First instruction: stop trying to protect yourself from negative energy. This might sound counterintuitive, but protection creates resistance. And resistance is exhausting. You don't need protection because you have something better. You have transmutation. Instead of building walls to keep negativity out, let it come and trust your ability to transform it. This might feel uncomfortable at first. We are conditioned to avoid pain, but you are not avoiding it. You are alchemizing it. There is a profound difference. Second instruction: when you feel negative energy entering your field, pause before responding. The pause is where transmutation happens. If you react immediately, you bypass your transmutation ability and respond from the energy you received. But if you pause, even for a moment, you create space for the transformation to occur. In that pause, the energy passes through your filter. Your love-based foundation touches it, and it emerges as something different. Then when you respond, you are not responding with what you received. You are responding with what you created. Third instruction: consciously redirect transmuted energy toward purpose. Once you have transformed negative energy into something positive, you have a choice about where to direct it. You can let it dissipate randomly, or you can channel it intentionally, channel it into your work, your relationships, your purpose, your assignment. This way, every attack against you becomes fuel for your mission. Your enemies literally fund your progress without meaning to. The more they attack, the more resources you have to work with. Fourth instruction: recognize that transmutation is your service to the world. You are not just doing this for yourself. Every bit of negative energy you transform is negative energy that doesn't continue circulating in the collective human experience. You are like a filter for humanity, taking in pollution and releasing purified air. This is ministry. This is purpose. This is why you were designed with this capacity. Let me tell you how the devil has attempted to work around your ability. Since he cannot replicate your transmutation, he has tried to bypass it. His current strategy with you involves 3 approaches. First approach: overwhelming volume. If one attack gets transmuted, send 100. The theory is that eventually you will get tired. Your filter will get clogged. Transmutation will fail under the sheer volume of incoming negativity. But he has miscalculated something. Your capacity increases with use. Every attack you transmute expands your ability to transmute the next one. You are not getting weaker under volume. You are getting stronger. He is accidentally training you to handle more than you could have handled before. Second approach: attacks through unexpected sources. If direct attacks get transmuted, maybe attacks through people you trust will slip through. The theory is that your filter is calibrated for enemies. It might not recognize threats from friends. This is why some relationships have gotten complicated lately. People you trusted saying things that wounded you, unexpected sources of pain. But what he didn't count on is that your transmutation operates regardless of source. The energy itself gets transformed regardless of who sent it. He revealed his agents, and you still process the attack into growth. Third approach, internal attacks. If external attacks get transmuted, maybe internal ones will work. Your own thoughts accusing you, your own doubts condemning you, your own memories tormenting you. This is the most sophisticated strategy because it feels like it is coming from yourself. But here is what you need to understand. Even internal negativity can be transmuted. When you notice thoughts attacking your identity, pause, recognize them as energy, not truth, and let your transmutation ability transform them into fuel for self-understanding. The enemy's internal attacks become opportunities for deeper self-knowledge. Once again, his strategy backfires. This is the message that was recorded for you to receive when your file was updated with frequency master classification. A personal note was added, not procedural documentation. Personal communication, intended specifically for you. Let me share what it says. To the chosen one receiving this message, you have developed through pain what most never develop through practice. Your suffering was not meaningless. It was the furnace in which your transmutation ability was forged. Every wound that didn't destroy you contributed to an ability that cannot be destroyed. You are now operating at a level that makes you valuable to heaven and threatening to hell in ways you don't yet fully comprehend. The enemy's obsession with understanding your ability is proof that you possess something he recognizes as powerful. His inability to replicate it is proof that your foundation is secure. What you do naturally is beyond his capacity permanently. Do not shrink from this recognition. Do not pretend to be less than what you have become. The world needs frequency masters who acknowledge their mastery, not those who hide it under false humility. Walk forward, knowing that attacks will continue, but they will continue to fail. Know that opposition will persist, but it will persist in funding your advancement. Know that darkness will rage against your light, but that rage reveals its impotence, not its power. You have made heaven proud, not through perfection, but through transmutation, through taking every imperfect circumstance and transforming it into perfect development. This is mastery, and you have achieved it. Now I want you to understand what this means for your immediate future. The recognition of your mastery has activated preparation for your next assignment. I cannot tell you specifically what it is because specifics aren't given in advance. But I can tell you the nature of it. You are going to be placed in situations where your frequency dominion will be tested at higher levels. Not because heaven doubts you, because heaven is calibrating your capacity for larger assignments. By confirming your readiness through graduated challenges, each test you pass expands the scope of what you will be trusted with. You are also going to encounter people who are where you used to be, drowning in negativity. They don't know how to process circulating pain because they never learned to transmute it, becoming what hurt them because they don't know any other option. Your presence in their lives will offer another option, not through words necessarily. Through frequency, through the demonstration of someone who receives pain and releases peace, someone who absorbs attacks and radiates blessing, they will notice something different about you. They will wonder how you stay stable when everything around you shakes. And in their wondering, they will become open to learning what you have mastered. This is how frequency dominion spreads. Not through teaching primarily, through demonstration, through living proof that transmutation is possible. Some of them will ask you directly how you do it, and you will share what you know, but most will simply observe and gradually absorb your frequency through proximity. This is the multiplication that heaven has planned. You are not just a master for yourself, you are a master who will produce other masters. The ability that took you years to develop through suffering, others will develop faster through connection with you. This is your legacy, not just what you achieve personally, but the transmutation capacity that spreads through everyone you influence. The enemy knows this too. It is another reason he is obsessed with your case. He is not just watching one frequency master, he is watching the potential origin point of many, and he has no strategy for stopping what he cannot understand. If this revelation resonated in the deepest part of your soul, if you recognize yourself as a frequency master who has been transmuting darkness into light without fully knowing what you are doing, write 777 in the comments. To activate this recognition in your conscious awareness. For those who want to go deeper into developing this mastery intentionally, there is exclusive material in the description and pinned comment that costs less than a pizza and comes with a complete audiobook, plus a 5-minute meditation guide as a bonus. Subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you never miss a revelation about your true identity and the powers you carry. Share this video with someone who also needs to understand why attacks against them keep backfiring. And before you leave, click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover exactly how your classification as a frequency master connects to assignments that are already being prepared for your next season. Together, we are stronger.